Hello everyone, and welcome to part 7 of this Platinum Guide for Final Fantasy Tactics. I hope you've been enjoying this guide so far. So, give the videos up to this point a like, and feel free to subscribe if you'd like as well. But we just finished the part 6 video, which featured a battle called the Windflat Mill, which was a difficult battle because we had to take on a very dangerous opponent in Weegraph, who had some devastating attacks such as Judgment Blade, which had the ability to kind of wipe out multiple characters in one blow depending on your level, and another attack where he could just flat out kill even a character with full health. So we're out of that battle, and we're going to begin this battle regrouping and reallocating our skills here. We're going to try and use some skill points here to get the chemist ability up there, and we want to enable safeguard as much as we can across our characters, because we don't want our equipment being rendered as was the case in one of our previous battles. So we're going to work a little bit on employing the chemist ability skill tree up, and we're also going to make sure that these characters some of them can at least start using potions and Phoenix Downs, because as you can imagine, that last battle, not being able to equip items with everyone, or at least some more characters, was really making that battle difficult. So that's gonna be what we're gonna really work on in this video here. We don't have any major story elements or things to adjust here in this video. So as you can see, in order to start getting some job points with our chemists and our party in general, we have revisited the Mandalia Plains to just do some quick battles and skirmishes here. And we find ourselves faced against a handful, 3 chocobos here. And these chocobos are extremely annoying to be fighting 3 of them. Oh, and we also do have a wolf here. Fighting 3 chocobos is going to be difficult because they're going to be very eager to heal. So it's going to be hard to continuously apply pressure and kill them after healing all over the place, but there's also not really anything we can do. As you can see, if you missed it, I did employ some chemists here because I'm trying to get some more skill sets with the items in general with some of our characters, so that they can heal themselves just in case one of the chemists is too far away and if they're in a bind. So we're going to have them learn some job skills for that ability, as well as eventually we'll equip the item ability to the characters that we think we're going to need it, which won't be all of them, but we'll just make sure some have it other than just the one chemist. Oh, I didn't notice we also have a goblin up there that was entering the scene here. So we have a wolf, 3 chocobos, and a goblin that we need to contend with. And the hardest thing is about it, like I said, we're using one of the weaker classes here, so this is going to be a bloodbath to the end, because these characters are not going to be able to impose tons of damage here with this class that we have, and I haven't really been equipping them or anything when I'm changing my job class, which is something I should consider doing at some point as well. So Ramsey needs to heal up. And he can't move anywhere because he's been blocked by these 3 chocobos. So this wolf's going to do one of his patented claw attacks here. Nothing we haven't seen, but we keep him cornered, so we should be able to kill him off, leaving us with the chocobos and the goblin. So that takes. So we do the damage to the wolf, and now we'll finish him off here.
Ready for anything? My turn.
So we've taken out one of the chocobos, which is good, because we really didn't want them starting to get on a healy frenzy and wiping out all that good work we did on that one that we were working on. And we've managed to isolate the other one so that they won't be able to heal each other as much. Yeah, these birds really do know how to dish out some damage. This one's blind and even he can counter. Oh, it looks like we got a cloak evasion there, but these chocobos really, for just being wild animals, they can put on a show for sure.
What's my next move?
So we're going to patch up one of our chemists here that's been taking a beating from the enemies here.
Turning back.
And now we can try and whittle down this second chocobo. 20 damage at a time. We still have this goblin that's been taking his time getting over to us, which is really nice because we're not really ready for him anyway.
I feel stronger.
This chocobo's come all the way over there to heal his buddy, which was somewhat unsuspected. I didn't think he would be able to make it over and do it.
How could this be? I may not survive this. I'll be taking this.
So we found a dagger as one of the buried items. So nothing that we really need there.
Much appreciated.
So we're kind of at a stalemate here. They've been healing. We've been healing. They've been whittling us down. We've been whittling them down. And they still have a fresh goblin. If I had a more balanced party of a knight and an archer, so a little bit more offensively driven attack unit, this would have been a much easier battle. But again, as I mentioned, we're just picking chemists here so we can try and make sure that we have a better allocation of item use for our characters going forward. So that when we equip the item ability for some characters, they'll be able to use Phoenix Down and potentially Potion at least. As you can see, the Chocobo got another heal in, which is annoying. We're kind of remain at stalemate here.
To victory.
Nothing to fear.
Ready and able. My turn.
So the goblin is finally pretty close to joining us now. So hopefully we can get one of these chocobos killed before he enters the fray.
You ready for that?
But no. We did get a treasure chest to appear due to the length of time. And unfortunately this chocobo is going to run off and heal. Awful for us. They're so annoying. But we got a second chest to appear. So, even though this has been a grind with these chemists here, at least hopefully we'll get
This might be my
a couple good items here.
I must fight on.
But the goblin has finally made his entrance and got a pretty good attack there for him. As you can see, I'm even running out of potions to use in this grueling battle of the chemists against the
I must survive.
this fray here. We got a Maiden's Kiss, which is basically useless to us at this point in the game. Dreading the point where I'm actually going to need those. Typically, you need a Maiden's Kiss in the Final Fantasy series when you've been turned into a frog. So that's a little take on the Princess and the Frog, because in that old tale that the prince gets turned into a frog and a fair maiden needs to kiss a frog, get over her sense of fear of the frog, kiss the frog, and he turns him into a prince. And so that's been the Maiden's Kiss, which usually turns you from a frog back to your regular self. I'm sure that'll be the case in this. We haven't got to that point yet. But we're still working on this goblin here now that he's joined in on the fun. Our chemists are roughly back up into par as far as healing goes, and we can now get back onto the offensive.
It's time.
Unfortunately, Ramsey cannot finish off that chocobo, so we'll see if we can finish off the goblin. And that's a no on both accounts. So we decided to take the goblin down instead. Because if we went with the chocobo, he would likely survive, run off, and heal again.
Curse my luck.
So we've got a pretty crowded bunch of enemies here. Everyone is jumbled up in this little tight spot here of the level. We're all kind of all within a tile apart of each other. Hopefully we can use that to our advantage and finally finish off these enemies. We have our best chemist here with high potion who used it there to heal up.
I have to fight on. All in a day's work.
And you can see we finally took down the imp, which is good because we don't want it being healed by these chocobos that have moved over. And we want to finish off this last one here that is crippled. Which we do. So he's reduced to a feather. And now we have the last one remaining here that we can try and kill. May not get it in this turn because of how weak we are. So it's going to run off and heal as always. So we'll just need two advances on this chocobo to kill it off. Unless, of course, it heals again, which it could.
My turn.
Pretty strong Chocobeak attack there from him, getting 24 damage out of it instead of the typical 18-20 range. But I'd almost rather have that than it healing. So we'll do 16 of ourselves here, and hopefully we can finish it off now with this attack. And we do. So that was a brutal, extremely hard fight because we only use chemists, but we got a lot of job points for our chemist, so we can enable the using of potions and Phoenix Downs for our characters going forward and have them be a little bit more well-rounded. And also we wanted to learn Safeguard for many of our characters as well. So that is one of the reasons why we did the chemist, all chemist battle.
I see.
So we're going to go and look at our skills here and make sure that we enable Safeguard.
What is it? Me.
And or Phoenix Down if they don't have Safeguard.
What?
What do you want?
May I help you? I will rise to the challenge.
So the next thing that we're going to try and work on here to prepare for this next battle is to start learning level 2 spells for our
Me.
Black Mage. Level 2 spells are Fira, Thundara, and Blizzara. Level 1 spells, of course, being Fire, Thunder, and Blizzard, respectively. But those are the next set of things that we're going to try and do, is at least learn one level 2 spell with 2 Black Mages, so we have a chance of completing this next mission here. But what we're going to also do is finally go around and equip some of our treasure, our abilities that we enabled earlier, but we bought earlier but never actually enabled. We're going to make sure that we can have some of these other abilities like items equipped to our classes, so we don't have to use items as a chemist only. And I am going to change Ramza here to be a Black Mage and have it learn some of these level 2 spells as well. So it learned Fira. and we'll give it him the ability to use items and the safeguard.
Yes?
So this is something I should have done many videos ago. But as you can see, if you're like me and you didn't realize the intuitiveness of the screens to do this, you can still get through these battles without it. I just hope it will be that much easier to do these battles going forward now that I have this figured out here and I have the job points allocated accordingly to get these items more distributed across my party. So yeah, we're continuing to make sure that we have safeguard on for the chemist that had enough GP to learn that ability. And just round out some of the other characters that we've utilized with ability just so they have that option should they need it.
Who, me?
So now our chemist that we've been using here, she'll use safeguard, and then she can also do the throwing of stones, and that we learned from the squire class. So if we get a situation where we want to do a little bit of damage with our chemist without wasting a turn healing or just doing nothing, we can. So that's some good progress there. We're going to do a final check here, move some of our classes around to what we actually want to use in the next battle so that we can purchase the equipment accordingly that we need to at the outfitter, because the outfitter had some new items for us that will be of interest. So I am going to have Ramza be a squire that has the ability to use black magic instead of the item, just to keep on the ultimate offensive. Because this next battle, like I said, the story battle coming up is very difficult. And hopefully I have enough healing between the rest of my party so that Ramza can focus on the offensive. But back at the outfitters, some of the new equipment that's available is related to the knight. So we're going to equip that new item there. Get some potions, some high potions. And we're also going to get a sword for the knight and the squire, which gives us a 3-point boost. So buy a couple mithril swords, or as many as you can for character jobs and classes that you need for that weapon for that slight boost there. So we're going to do another battle here to just continue to get some job points for our a second black mage because we don't have the ability to learn Fira, I don't believe yet for it, and or Thundera or Lazara, any level 2 spell. And this is where I regret buying poison. Then maybe I wouldn't have had to do this battle, but it is what it is. It's one of those things I do wish there was a way to unallocate skills
Understood.
in this game, but I have not seen that ability. So we're back in this area here and setting up our formations for this next battle here, just to round out any chemists that may not have safeguard and to get a second black mage to have level 2 spells.
This'll serve. Understood. Forward.
So we're set our party members and we're off. Start this battle here. And we have 2 chocobos and a goblin. So compared to 2 goblins, it looks like. Compared to that last battle, this should be much quicker because we aren't using all chemists now. So we should be able to be quicker about this battle compared to the last one, which was hopefully the low point of this guide of just using all chemists just to get some job points. This one hopefully should be a little bit easier and a little bit more balanced offensively. So we should be able to kill quicker, and since we have a black mage now, we should also be able to be more aggressive against the enemies compared to the last one. And as you can see, we have this ability called Focused, which is also good for Ramsey if he's doing any physical attacks. In this next battle, I won't be doing it as much, but that's a great skill to increase your physical attack for the entirety of the battle. So we're going to have some of our characters move through the wall. Some are going to make their way around it. We got some initial thunder damage on that first chocobo there, which is good because we're trying to focus the most on the black mage and getting him skill job points. The chocobo there has been quite aggressive and gone right up onto us, joining us on the wall here, and the imps goblins are making their way down as well. So we should be having a good set of confrontation rounds here.
I'm ready. No turning back. My turn.
As you can see, we're continuing to position ourselves around to finish off these enemies. That 55 damage from the knight is a blessing compared to the just 20 that we were doing with our chemist. But as you can see, because we have a higher ability set across our parties, that also reflects on the enemies as well, because the enemies do get scaled accordingly to what the party members you bring in is. I actually did join this very exact battle with a slightly different party configuration, and there was a dragon in this battle. So this shows you how much variance is in this game when you consider your party members and your job skills over the course of this game. And you might, of course, be noticing that yourselves already if you're following this guide and you've been not been doing the same configurations as I have. You've been perhaps joining boss battles or any of these battles and having a different lineup or set of enemies that are different than mine. And that is because of all the random variations that are in this game. So that is going to be why it may be tough for you to follow this guide, plus the differences in the names. But again, you can always just keep up by changing your names of your characters to match mine, or you can also just make sure you at least have the same classes and same relative level as I, so that the variation change is minimal, and then you can still kind of follow the strategies, or at least hopefully even improve on the strategies that I've been applying throughout this game, particularly when it comes to the item allocations, which I really screwed up and should have done much earlier. But anyway, we got the Fira attack there, which killed off the goblin. So we have one goblin remaining and a chocobo. So we're in good shape to finish off this battle here soon. I did a nice critical attack of 49 on the goblin there, which managed to kill him off in a turn, which is great. The knight really is one of the best classes in this early going here. If you really want massive damage, it's hard to go against the knight and the black mage. I am not sure if that has anything to do with the fact that I picked the knight as my starting configuration for this game. I didn't really look up what that effect has on the game, but Chocobo is gonna do a Chocobo Beak attack here, but he is in a lot of trouble because we have him surrounded and we have some heavy hitters around him, so we should be able to knock it out on this turn. I did I got lucky and got the attack with the black mage there, which triggered fire, which is a random low chance event, but I managed to get it there. But that's again one of the advantages of having those type of rods early in the game, is if you're running low on a MP, you can at least try and trigger a fire event. So I'm going to buy Thundara here as the level 2 skill for my black mage here, just because I learned Fira for the other black mage, who it's going to be Ramsey in this case, just to have a little variation in case one of the enemies coming up might be more susceptible to one or the other. But I don't know if that's the case, but it's still just to have a little variety. So be sure and have, up to this point, a black mage with 2 black mages with level 2 spells, because that's going to be one of the only ways that we can have a chance, I feel, against this next battle. And then, of course, double check and make sure that you have safeguard on your chemist's ability and have that allocated across your party members, because we don't want to be losing equipment in the next battle or going forward in this game as much as possible. So we'll probably keep this safeguard ability on for a little bit until we get an ability that we feel that's gonna trounce the need to have safeguard. So I'm just doing another check here on our party members and their configuration, because this boss battle coming up is very difficult and not to be taken lightly. I've tried it quite a few times in different configurations and went nowhere. So I figured that was the time where I really needed to learn up exactly what I'm doing. This is another key point there. I'm going to equip the counter tackle there with one of our characters, because that is one of the trophies that we're going to try and get here in this next battle as well, because you need to do a counter tackle 5 times. So here we are in the Zygden Fortress.
You have my strength.
So for our setup here, it's going to be, we're going to put Ramsey over here on the left.
Just try to stop me.
And then I'm also going to put a black mage.
Leave this to me.
Oh, sorry, this might be the right side.
Understood.
Yeah, so on this side I'm going to put the knight and the healer, and on the other side I'm going to put the Ramsey as a black mage and my other black mage, and then kick off this story event.
Lord brother. Teacher. This changes nothing. Argas. Lucio. Yes, man. Gods have mercy. Teacher. Lord Commander, choose. Very well. Curse the lawyer.
So as you can see here, the high nobilities there killed an innocent Tetra there, the sister of Deetra, without even batting an eye, which just shows that we may not exactly be on the good team here, because that's a pretty dark thing to do, not even give our chance.